10 games creepier than Charlie Charlie Challenge. In 2015, a phenomenon known as the Charlie Charlie Challenge took the internet by storm. It's since become one of the most easily identifiable paranormal ghost game around, sort like the current generation's version of the time-honored classic Bloody Mary. But it's worth noting that it isn't the only game of this sort floating around out there. There are loads of games like Charlie Charlie bopping around the internet. What's more than rules for the most of them are just usually a Google search away. Feel like tempting fate today? Maybe today's the day that you really want to creep yourself out. I consider creepypasta to be the modern day equivalent of the urban legends so many of us grew up telling at sleepovers and around campfires. Games and rituals like Charlie Charlie are no different indeed these days. There's some generations of the creepypasta. Ritual pasta, what notable about ritual pasta is that the stories often get their punch from making you, the reader, into the procrastination, the star of the tale. This is probably why I spend so much of my free time reading and researching them, although I admit that I'm usually too wary to actually want to try playing them. Do I believe any of these games actually work? To be honest, not really. I suspect that some of them, the ones that are closer to meditation than the alleged summoning of a ghost or a demon or whatever, might yield more tangible results. However, your mileage is likely to vary in each and every case. If you do give any of these a shot, though, I recommend taking these absolutely precautions and don't treat them as a joke. Even if you don't really believe in them, well, better safe than sorry, right? The Three Kings, a Redditor gone by the name of Fable Forge, posted the instructions or recipe as it later became known for the Three Kings or On the No Sleep subreddit during the summer of 2012. It became so popular that it later sprawled a subreddit of its own, devoted entirely to games and rituals of this sort. The setup involves shutting yourself in a room with two mirrors at 3:30 in the morning and seeing what happens. The mirrors should be set up on two chairs facing each other, while you yourself settle on a third chair placed between them. Your chair is your throne, making you the king. The mirrors are your queen and your fool. Although you may not know which one is which, it's also worth nothing that from the queen or their fool. The game is called the Three Kings. Remember, as for what the point of this ritual is, that's a little less clear. The idea is to access what Fable Forge calls the shadow side. Although why would you want to go there or even just peek at through the window? Sort of depends on each individual personally. I think it functions kind of like a hypnosis or meditation. You might learn something about yourself, something you may not have consciously. Though before while playing it, just make sure that whatever you think might learn during this game is really worth it. Some things we're better off not knowing. The fortune game. It originated many years ago in Japan. However, there are similar games found in culture all over the world. You might hear it called the fortune game, for example, or even crossroads divination. This last mockery, of course, referring to the location in which the game must take place, a crossroads. Crossroads, you see, have long been viewed not just as the space where two roads intersect, but also the space two worlds intersect. Our own world and the world beyond the veil, so to speak. This game is a little less involved than some of the other games on the list, making it easier to play. If you're just dipping your toe into the ritual pasta waters, it should be noted though that the stakes are still pretty high. They always are in these types of games. All you have to do to play is find a comb or something to cover your face with. Take them to a crossroads when it's dark out. Shroom the teeth of the comb a few times to make some noises and chant Tajaru. Grant me a true response 3 times. If a stranger approaches you, cover your face, then ask them to tell your fortune. If you're lucky, they'll accept, but don't push it if they refuse. Fun fact, a tajaru is Japanese rice cracker that functions sort of like a fortune cookie. It's savory rather than sweet, but the idea is quite similar. The Doors of Your Mind. This game also goes by several names depending on who you talk to, how old they are, and where they grew up. The version known as The Doors of Your Mind seems unique to Reddit, where it appeared in 2012. However, some folks remember playing it under the name Black Door, White Door in the mid-1990s, while others recollect a version called Red Door, Yellow Door. No matter which version you play, though it's relatively low risk compared to a lot of other games and rituals. It's basically a form of meditation, with the goal being simply to explore the contents of your own head, visualizing the interior of your mind as long as a long corridor with many doors and rooms shooting off of it allows you to take your time walking through everything, potentially helping you sort out problems or maybe just allowing you to learn something about yourself. Be warned though, there could be something unpleasant or downright nasty things lurking in the location you conjure up. It's not unheard of for a threatening person agent to appear and lock you in one of the rooms, and getting locked in can sometimes complicate things. Also know that you don't have to open every door. If you get a bad feeling from one, you might want to leave it shut. You need a friend to help play this one. They'll guide you through the process as well as help you come back to the physical world. If you encounter something dangerous in the world inside your mind, think carefully. The Dart Reflection Ritual. The object of the Dart Reflection Ritual is to boost your luck, although you might have to battle through a whole bunch of absolute terrible luck in order to get there. And I'm talking some Final Destination level stuff here. You can perform this one either solo or as part of a group to get it going. You find a mirror, look your reflection in the eye for a few seconds while focusing on all your negative energy. Breathe on the mirror till it fogs up, and then hold it to a burning flame until a black smudge appears on it. Lastly, smash the mirror and get it ready to be on your guard. Throughout the rest of the night, bad luck will apparently follow you, getting increasingly more dangerous as the hours go by. If you survive until dawn, congratulations. It's said that your luck will magically become good, ensuring success in pretty much everything you do for an unspecific amount of time. Is it worth it? I'm not sure. You have to find out for yourself. The Shoebox Telephone. Another one from 3 Kings subreddit, where it was originally published in 2012. The shoebox telephone involves constructing a sort of astral telephone out of a shoebox, a string, and a paper cup. If prepared correctly, the telephone will allow you to make a call to someone who might not be on our plane of existence anymore. Like the Doors of Your Mind, the shoebox telephone is relatively low risk. However, be careful you don't dial a wrong number. It is not totally clear what happens if you do, but you probably don't really want to find out. The Midnight Game. I will freely admit that I have no earthly idea why anyone would actually want to play the Midnight Game. It sounds at least extremely dangerous, and winning it doesn't seem to bestow any benefits on you. Maybe it's for the thrill or the whole thing or something. Allegedly, it was used as a punishment for those who dared to transgress the law of the society during the ancient times. But I suspect that's just a fiction taken onto the story to make it freakier. It does, however, make use of a trope that can be encountered in different forms all over the world. That of the boogeyman, the monster whose name is involved in order to keep us in line. This particular game is an all-night event. After you summon the Midnight Man to your place of residence via the sort of blood magic, it's not generally recommended that anyone do ever. You spend the rest of your evening moving about your house and trying to avoid him. What happens if he catches you? Well, depending on who you ask, he'll either trap you inside a hallucination of your worst fear for a few hours, or he'll rip your innards. If you make it through the game, Don't assume you're safe from the Midnight Man forever. He might still be there lurking in the shadows, just waiting for the chance to visit you again. The Gambler's Game. The prize for winning the Gambler's Game is the ability to win any gamble, no matter how slim the odds might be. But before you can seize that prize, you have to beat the gambler at a different game first. You get to choose the game for the challenge, which gives you something of an advantage over the gamblers right from the get-go. Although, for what it's worth, your opponent prefers blackjack. If you choose his favorite game, maybe he'll go easy on you, but maybe he won't. Whatever game you play, though, just don't try to cheat. The gambler doesn't take kindly to cheating. The ritual might look kind of goofy to anyone who doesn't know what's going on. Essentially, it seems like you're playing a card game with yourself, but just because you can't see your opponent doesn't mean he's not there. Also, the cost of losing is steep. Just bear that in mind before you decide to play. The telephone ritual. The telephone ritual, which hails from Japan, bears some similarities with the shoebox telephone. However, it uses both a mobile phone and a regular landline instead of a phone made out of a shoebox. It's also a heck of a lot more dangerous. Before you start, you have to make sure you're alone in the house. Don't try to play with anyone else in the home. Also, make sure you're comfortable with hanging out in your bathroom and staring into the depths of your toilet for an extended amount of time. Yes, really. When you're ready to play, first turn off all the lights in your home and lie down a line of salt outside the bathroom door. According to some magic practitioners, salt can be an effective tool for protecting yourself from negative energy. Then grab your phone and a flashlight. Lock yourself in the bathroom and use your mobile phone to call your home number. Doing so might result in, something picking up the other end. If that happens, hang up immediately. If you see a change in the surface of the toilet bowl water or hear a noise from somewhere inside your house, hang up immediately. Actually, you know what? Just don't make that call in the first place. It's probably safer that way for everyone. The Answer Man. The Answer Man requires 10 players, so maybe there's safety in numbers. Gather everyone together into a circle, then have all players take out all their phones and call the person to their left, making sure you all hit send at the same time. Most of you will probably get a busy signal, but it's possible that one person might get through to the Answer Man. Whoever gets through to the Answer Man, can ask whatever question you ask. He'll get to ask one in return. His questions aren't always easy to answer, but you must answer them truthfully and accurately. If it doesn't like your answer, you're going to have a bad time. So make sure you are fully prepared before playing. You might want to use an inexpensive burner or pay-as-you-go phone to play this one, by the way. If you manage to get in touch with the Answer Man, you'll need to destroy the phone you used to talk to him afterwards. Otherwise, he might be able to reach out to you whenever he wants to. One person hide and seek. I feel the same way about one person hide and seek as I do the Midnight Game. Namely, I cannot figure out why on earth you'll even play it. But again, suspect a lot of it has to do with the thrill seeking. So if that's your thing, go for it carefully. Known in Japan, this is the first involves preparing a doll or a stuffed animal to be your opponent. Once you've created your opponent and put a few precautions in place, it's the doll's turn to hide while it's your turn to seek. After you find the doll, do not under any circumstances want to let the doll find you. If you successfully avoided it, you'll have to go find it again yourself to end the game. But be warned, you may not find it where you left it.